All right. So let's talk about Daddy Freeze. Who's Daddy Freeze? Daddy Freeze was an OAP on air personality, like kind of like Charlemagne here in New York City, like radio DJ, you know, that kind of stuff. Shock and jock, right? So he had something to say about Apostle Suleiman. I thought there was a good lesson in it for men, especially, right? Particularly with respect to the passing of Sammie Okposo, which we did a tribute here 2 days ago. That video is still going viral. Please keep watching it. It's monetized for his estate. Okay, now, but the gentleman passed away. And there was news breaking out everywhere saying he wasn't treated well by the church because what happened? He smashed. He was a gospel artist. Last year he came around to Houston. He smashed. Allegedly, some lady got pregnant completely out of wedlock. He has a wife at home, 12 years, right? And the wife hasn't been fortunate enough to have her own child with him. But here we go. He has a young lady that a daughter from long time ago, but he doesn't have any children with his present wife. But then somebody else got pregnant for him. It became a scandal. But the accusation against the church is that they completely abandoned him. They started beating him up, even in the midst of, the church doesn't know how to rebuke in love, right? He was getting shamed everywhere. That's the accusation. Now, online, definitely for sure, he was held accountable, right? Quote unquote, right? But a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about this man. I do too. If you hear that, I paid a little tribute because I had two different encounters with him that were pleasant. And I made a point that, hey, listen, everyone has one flaw or the other, right? And we can't shame people for their weakness. We can correct them. There's a difference between correcting a person, rebuking a behavior, and completely shaming them. But again, if you're a celebrity, you're going to be held accountable. I mean, you need to have realistic expectations around this stuff, right? You will be held accountable. You will be dragged, kind of like Kanye West has been dragged for the past few weeks, right? If you're a celebrity, that's just what comes with that, right? So, one of the pastors came out. His name is Apostle Suleman, and he said, "Love has left the church," basically, and he was basically lamenting that they left him to buy. Buy means you know, to go to heaven. All right. So, but then Daddy Freeze, who is another YouTuber now, he used to be a popular on-air personality. He has something to say about the Apostle Suleiman, who is making this comment. And I thought it would be a good moment of lesson for all of us. We drag Apostle Suleiman quite a bit on YouTube because he also runs his mouth quite a bit. Like he's a very pompous, very, at least the way he talks, right? We don't know him personally, but I've always suspected that on a personal level, he might not be that person. Like a lot of people take a liking to him. He's a likable guy. It's a lot of people, a lot of the celebrities especially, they're very comfortable around him. As a matter of fact, they accused him recently of sleeping with about 23 different actresses. That doesn't sound realistic. Maybe one or two, maybe three. Maybe he's really that kind of womanizer, a pastor, an apostle, right? Maybe, but I don't know how he will be doing that, and there won't be any kind of proof. But to each his own. My point is this: there are people like that. It sounds like Sammie Okposo was that kind of guy too. People just love being around him, and I think that's a good thing, right? Now, you could be careless. You could start getting accused of scandals. Maybe you're sleeping with people. I do think that Apostle Suleiman gets down. I just think, my opinion. I could be wrong. Okay. But but in terms of like 23 different women that are very popular in their own rights, that just sounds completely unrealistic. But anyway, Daddy Freeze had something to say about him. Now, Daddy Freeze is biased because he claims that's his friend. But I think he made a good point that I want to play that I think every man can also pay attention to. So you don't want to be careless. to the point that everyone is comfortable around you and you're being accused of scandals or you're sleeping with everyone. But you also want to pick something out of this. Let me play that video for you.
Is rare. You see, and that is rare. Is rare. You see,
what he said that got cut off is that Apostle Suleman, the kind of man that Apostle Suleman is rare. Why? Let's pay attention.
If I had problem today, I can run to Apostle Suleman. I pray that I don't ever have problem or don't ever fall into that situation.
All right, so let me pause there for a second. He said if he has problem today, he can run to him. I know people like that. I have a few friends around me like that. Okay? In terms of morality, they're not necessarily your quote-unquote holier than thou. I walk a straight line. I never offend anybody. I never cheat anybody. I don't steal. I don't lie. That's not what I'm talking about. But in terms of my friend, we grew up together. I can run to them if I need something, if I need help, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's something that I'm always striving to. I want to be that guy that you can count on. Not to the detriment of myself, of course, right? But I'm saying, like, you can count on me. Like, even if I can't, you will know that it's because I couldn't. It's because it's beyond me, right? And people like that, they tend to always be able to get away with stuff too. They tend to be, quote unquote, fun people to be around, Ladies love to be around them, right? Not necessarily sleeping with them, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that people, including men, are comfortable being around them or following them. They're comfortable following them, right? Why? Right? Let's keep listening there.
But you see, and that doesn't mean because I'm Daddy Freeze. It can happen to anybody. He'll open his door to you. Sammie and I never really start. But you see, I'm Agbala.
So that's the point. That was the whole point right there. Some people, they're just ready to open their doors. Now, in terms of they might have personal flaws. Maybe they don't like Obogoni, It could be. I think Sammie Okposo was that person too. Because he had quite a few scandals during the course of his, allegedly, during the course of his career as a gospel artist. There's some people like that, right? Their flaws, but they're also good for certain things, right? So I'm not saying you should emulate them or go and inherit their flaws. What I'm saying is that part where people are very comfortable with them, both men and women can follow them, both women and women can feel like they can count on them. I think that's a good thing. Not only because you're helping, this is not a kumbaya moment, it's because I think it comes back to you, okay? I think it comes back, it has its ways of coming back around to you, right? If it doesn't come back to your generations, people will remember you and remember you for good tidings. And I think that's a really, really good thing. And also to remember that people have weaknesses and people have strength. And you too, right? So you must always remember to apply grace when you are assessing any one of these situations. Especially if you're a man, don't hurt yourself, but please give some room, allow some room, be that guy that people can say, yeah, you can count on me. I think that's a good, forget beautiful. I think it's a very profitable thing to do for you as a man. Okay. So that's the point I wanted to pull out of this really quickly before we move on to the next story. I got something else for you, I guarantee.